Hey, first graders, welcome back to Reading Today. Today you're going to continue working with Waiting for the Biblioburro. Listen carefully as Mrs. Spears introduces the lesson.
Hello, fantastic first grade friends, and welcome back to Wit and Wisdom in Sync. I'm Tanisha Spears, and I am so excited to get back to our learning today. But before we do, let's take a moment to make sure you have all of your materials ready. For this lesson, you will need handout 11A, focusing question task 2, assessment 11, your Wit and Wisdom in Sync journal, and a pencil. Pause the video now if you need to gather your materials.
You will not have the handout or the assessment page. All you will need is a journal and a pencil.
We have done work determining what was happening in waiting for the Biblioburro. And then we used complete sentences to retell the story. Today we will continue building knowledge about waiting for the Biblioburro by reflecting on this question. How does the Biblioburro change life for Anna? And as we think about the impact books had on Anna's life, we will also revisit the essential question for this module. And that question is, how do books change lives around the world? One more time, that question is, how do books change lives around the world? To help with answering this question, you will follow along with me as I use a chart to help me track my knowledge. We will go through the chart together. As I ask the questions, I want you to think about how you would answer the question and then watch as I reveal the answers to see if your thinking was similar to mine. Take a look at the chart on the screen. And let's think about this essential question. How do books change lives around the world? To help with answering this question, I'm going to think about the main character, and then I'm going to think about where in the world this character is, and then I'm going to think about what I read in the book. I know it's a lot to think about, but you got this. And don't worry, you're going to follow along with me. As I ask the questions, think about how you would answer the question, and then watch as I reveal my answers to see if your thinking was similar to mine. First question, who is the main character? Who is the main character? Share with your learning partner, or just share it aloud if your learning partner isn't available. Who is the main character? I'm sure you guessed it. The main character is Anna. Now think, where in the world is this character? Where in the world is this character? If you have the book, you can use page 29 to help you. Where in the world is this character? Share it with your learning partner, or just say it aloud. Remember, the story takes place in Anna's village in Colombia. Takes place in Anna's village in Colombia. Now, last question I want you to think about. How does the Biblioburro change life for Anna? How does the Biblioburro change life for Anna? In other words, how do books change Anna's life in the story? Think about that. How do books change Anna's life in the story? Share with your learning partner, or just say it aloud. Remember, books change life for Anna because books helped Anna connect to the world, and they inspired her to write her own book. Now I want you to think about all that you have learned. You've had the opportunity to practice writing a complete sentence, and today you'll continue to think about this question. How does writing complete sentences work in writing? In other words, you're going to think about how does writing complete sentences, how do they work when you're actually writing? And you will continue to use this skill of writing in complete sentences to complete your second focusing question task. Take a minute to get handout 11A, focusing question 2 prompt. It looks like what you see on the screen. And if you don't have the handout, don't worry, you can just use your journal. Let's take a minute to review the task and the expectations. And remember, you've used these symbols before, and you're going to continue to use them to help you retell in writing. Are you ready? Let's review the directions. Follow along with me as I read. Write and draw to retell the story Waiting for the Biblioburro. Be sure to include characters, setting, problem, resolution. Okay, now that we know what the writing task is and what needs to be included in the writing, take a minute to get assessment 11, focusing question task 2. Again, it looks like what you see on the screen. And don't worry if you don't have the handout, just use your journal. This handout has 3 pages, but today we'll only work with the first page. Pause the video now if you need to get the handout. Okay, read the directions and the sentence frames with me. Write and draw to retell the story Waiting for the Biblioburro. Now the sentence frames. It started in, and that's where you'll write the setting. When, and that's where you'll list the character. And then we see the problem icon, and you'll identify the problem. For today, you will only complete the first page of this handout. So I want you to think about what you will write on the lines. Now I want you to think about what picture you could draw in the illustration box. When you know what you're going to write and draw, pause the video to complete the first page of the handout. Remember, you're only completing the first page. Are you ready? Pause the video now to start writing and drawing. And don't worry, I'll be here when you're done.
Remember, in the first part, it started in. You're telling the setting. Where did the story start? When, then you're going to tell the main character's name. Now, wait, who's the main character? Oh, Anna. You know. You're going to tell what Anna's problem was. It started in blank when Anna blank. What was Anna's problem? That should be your sentence that you write today in your journal.
Welcome back, friends. I missed you while you were away, but I know you were hard at work. And I really wish I could see what you wrote and what you drew. Today, you have spent time identifying how books changed Anna's life and beginning your retell of Waiting for the Biblioburro. For our next lesson, we'll continue working with Anna and thinking about the Biblioburro. So, have your book ready. Also, remember your in-sync journal and any handouts that you use for today. Until then, be kind and do something great because you are capable of greatness.